Hello and thank you for tuning in to the MacDesk Floor Report for Wednesday, November 2nd. I'm Rebecca Darst from the MacDesk, speaking to you from the trading floor here at the NYSE. Right now we're looking at a gain of around 150 points in the Dow, which is nice for a start, but there's plenty of lost ground to make up. Over the past 2 days, we've lost about 5% in the major indices. That's an order of 300 points in the Dow. So today's modest upside gain represents a retracement of about half of that 2-day slide. As you've no doubt heard, the volatility in our market has been due mostly to the unfolding situation out of Europe and the sudden unilateral decision by Greek Prime Minister George Papandreou to put last week's EU bailout package, which was already being parsed rather skeptically by many market participants, to a referendum in Greece. The decision sent European markets tumbling, sent the yield on Greece's 2-year note to a new all-time high of just under 90%, and the spread on Italian bond yields to a euro-era high against the German Bund. European leaders are in the midst of a round of emergency talks at the G20 summit in Cannes, and Papandreou is expected to be summoned before the G20 for some words with Sarkozy and Merkel. But while the Greek Prime Minister is facing a vote of confidence at the end of the week, last night his cabinet voted unanimously to back the plebiscite, and Papandreou himself said he expects the vote to pass by a comfortable margin and provide a clear popular mandate for continued membership in the European Monetary Union. More than 70% of Greek voters said in an October 28th poll that they want Greece to remain part of the Eurozone. So Papandreou is clearly taking a calculated gamble on the reticence of the Greek public to topple the status quo. Of course, whether there's any referendum at all would seem to depend on whether Papandreou can keep his grip on power through Friday's confidence vote. The news out of Europe provided some support for the heavily shorted euro, support that was further cemented by chatter in the early pre-market that China might inject 700 billion euros into the EFSF, that's the European Bailout Fund. The euro is roughly flat against the yen, the Swiss franc, and the British pound sterling this morning, but up noticeably against the US dollar. Weakness in the greenback today is occurring on speculation that today's FOMC announcement may yield clues of some kind of creative or extended monetary easing, call it QE3 or what you will. Bloomberg's survey of economists this morning showed that more than 2/3 of their respondents expect a third round of quantitative easing. So that particular combination of euro short squeeze and dollar weakness ahead of the Fed has sent the euro-dollar cross to its first gain in 4 days and a test of the 50-day moving average at 138.10. After closing below 2% yesterday, we're also seeing a bounce back on the yield of the U.S. 10-year note to 2.03%. So with no huge waves out of Europe overnight, the U.S. market has caught a break from days of relentless headline volatility and has been finally at liberty to move on domestic data and earnings from these shores. Results of the ADP employer survey released before the bell showed that U.S. companies probably added 110,000 jobs in the month of October. That was a little bit better than expected, and in the absence of a major downside surprise, there was no reason to sell on that news. We also had a raft of solid earnings, most notably from MasterCard, which is up 8% this morning, trading right around $362. That's the highest price on record for MasterCard since its IPO 5.5 years ago, and marks a 5th straight quarter of positive earnings gap moves. VIX is down about 3.5% at 33.57 right now, but we're still trading at a modest premium to the November VIX future and trading at a 3-point premium to the December VIX contract, a strong indication that there are very heightened, very short-term jitters in the market today. We'll first start to get some of that risk off the table with the Fed statement at 12:30. There's a press conference with the chairman himself at 2:15, so there's plenty of market action for the market to digest today. The MacDesk will be following the activity as it happens, so be sure to check your inbox for the midday for initial reactions. For now, that's it from me, Rebecca Darst, for the MacDesk Floor Report.